Okay. Is the election over with yet? I'm feeling more worn out from that than anything else. This, fantasy football at this point is fucking easy. This whole election thing, I thought it was going to be over yet, and it doesn't look like it's going fucking anywhere. It's going to be like 2000 all over again with the hanging Chad. Only this time it's voter fraud, absentee voter fraud. So, boy, we got like at least another 3 weeks of this shit. So, where are we at now? We've officially hit the halfway point in the football world. Week eight's over. The league, as I remember from in terms of kind of where we're at with parity, it's still pretty close. Halfway, there's a lot of teams on the bubble. We'll talk about the league standings after we do the week eight review, and we'll talk about free agency a little bit. And, my saltiness level, I think, is kind of at an all-time low. For this week coming up, I think more or less every player I have is healthy, but like one. Right? Christian McCaffrey's coming back. I'm actually having a difficult time figuring out who I should start based upon, who the defenses are this week and who the quarterback is. And that's a first for me this entire league. So this is the very first week, other than week one, where I've got a complete team that I can field, and it's going to be difficult. So I will actually be, for anybody that sees this video, I'd like to shop an RB2 and WR3 maybe for QB2, something that's an upgrade over Derek Carr. Maybe we can put a package deal together for Derek Carr plus, like a Zach Moss or even like a Sterling Shepard kind of thing, because I need to get a better quarterback. So if somebody's got okay with Derek Carr or something like that, but I'll have to look around at some rosters and maybe send out some offers. But at this point, I'm kind of ready, willing, and able to make some moves. Anyway, so going into week 8, I ended up playing Chris Hussein, who was the high points leader that week. And, normally I'd be much saltier. I'd say, last week I played Derek, and he was the high points. This week I played Chris, and he was the high points. Unfortunately, in neither week could my team, even played optimally, could have scored as much as their teams. It just wasn't happening. Of course, when Patrick Mahomes is going to play the Jets, you might as well just go ahead and say the fantasy gods have deemed you lose that week. It's exactly what happened. Patrick Mahomes put up over 50 points. In our league it was 36-6-4, and another one I played Chris in the other league, and he did the same thing in the other league. The way it was scored, he put up over 50 points. So Devonta Adams for Chris putting up 27 points. Giovanni Bernard putting up 22 points, 21.3 points. So between three players, his three players put up more than my entire team. That's how badly my entire team shit the bed. I mean, nobody fucking performed on my team this week. Eric Ebron was my high points leader in week 8 at 12.8 points. It's just, that was a total implosion of a team. Big upset, I think, of the week. By far, this is like the upset of the fucking season. Chad defeating Derek 133-124. Derek's team crashing down to earth after putting up 3 consecutive weeks of over 150 points. Chad won 133-124. What can I say? He improves to 1-7. Derek falls to 4-4. So huge upset there. That was massively surprising. I know for a fact that Derek was projected over 140 points last week, and Chad was only projected to put up like 98. So what the hell happened there? Arthur losing to Jeremy 97-121. Again, Jeremy just, I think the last 2-3 weeks he has just gotten fucking lucky that he's getting these 120 point performances out of his team. His team has regressed in performance with the exception of Alvin Kamara. Now that Julio Jones is back, obviously that's great for him, but pretty large regression from what he was performing at, if I recall. And Arthur really, regressing. I know he's had 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, he might be on a 3 weeks in a row he's lost, I think. Welcome to the fucking club. I can't win a game to save my life. Blake pulling out the win against Tyler, 119 to 115. You know, again, Tyler getting another one of these close losses. You know, 3 points, 4 points. Philadelphia defense putting up 23 points for Blake, sealing the deal for him. Otherwise, you know, Tyler, Dalvin Cook putting up 48 points. You know, the rest of your team just fucking sucked at that point. Sorry, Tyler, but it's the way you like to lose. You'd rather lose it close, right? That's what you want to do. Josh putting up a decent 133. I don't want to say decent. I mean, when you start getting into the 130s, the upper 120s, 130s, you know, I'd say that's, you know, a good one standard deviation over the mean, maybe even closer to 2 for our league. So good there at 133.72. 2 balls in a shaft. That's Ryan Vecchio. Ryan Vecchio having a bad week like I was. He only put up 86.8. I mean, I was the low points this week. I played the high points and I was the low points, but you know, what else are you gonna do? Ryan Vecchio, yeah, again, just not having enough consistency across the board. His top 3 players put up 20, 40, 60 points. So 80% roughly, or 70% roughly of his total point score was with 3 players. So the rest of his team totally shit the fucking bed. I mean, my entire team shit the bed. My high, you know, everybody was putting up like 10 points. Well, not everybody was putting up 10 points, but, you know, it was like 10, 10, 10, 10, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Vecchio, 19, 9, 9, 9, 11, 11, 8, 15, 10, 8. Oh, that was the projected, excuse me. Yeah. 19, 22, 20, and then 2, 2, 5, 0, 7, 4, 5. I mean, and that's, yeah, I'd say my team was like that this week, but it was even worse than that, I think. And then Josh getting good production out of Lamar Jackson. You know, really getting lucky getting that win on your quarterback bye week, right? Yeah, I mean, that was very lucky. But you got to be lucky. You know? I mean, I'd rather be lucky any day of the week in this fucking league. I should say lucky than good. I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week. Sean falling to 3-5, and David Serbone going up to 5-3. Another 3-point game. What did that come down to with Sean? Sean getting huge production out of Justin Herbert. Should have bid more from him, I think, in week 4 or 5 when I think Sean dropped him. Somebody dropped Justin Herbert. And Sean bid on him for like $25 or something, picked him up, got a good value. He's got an excellent value at him so far. He's been performing at solid QB1 rates. We'll see if he keeps it up. Yeah, what happened here? 133, 125. Who did it for you? Was it the defense? No? Offensive? Was it the tight end? Oh, I see. David Serbone was down a quarterback. Kyler Murray was out. So, still pretty good. Gronk putting up 12 points. Yeah. Well. Gotta. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Kyler Murray was out for David, and he still won. So, Sean, what happened to Sean here? Scotty Miller, 5.7. Yep. And then Devin's, 10 points out of Devin Singletary. Yeah. So Scotty Miller was your death knell, Sean. He didn't live up to your performance. Oh, well. So Sean is 3-5 in 7th place. David Serbone goes up to 4th overall at 5-3. And, yeah, that was the week. So I don't think there was any upsets with the exception of, because Blake was slated to win, Josh was slated to win, Serbone was slated to win, Chad was slated to lose, I was slated to lose, Arthur was slated to lose. So only one upset this week. So the projections this week were accurate, but even worse so. I mean, Jesus Christ, I was 70 points off. What happened to my team? Why did I only put up 70 points? Carr put up 13. Kareem Hunt put up 9. Darrell Henderson got injured, only put up 6. Amari Cooper put up 1. T. Higgins was a bright spot, 11. Eric Ebron at bright spot at 13. Leonard Fournette only putting up 9. Tua putting up 5.7. Titans D only giving me 3. Steven Gostkowski giving me 1 point. Ugh. That's bad. And I left 20, 30, 40, 50 points on my bench, so that would be 70, 100. Yeah, it's still not enough. It only put me at 130 points. Not enough, so I was losing anyway. Okay, week 8 is done. So if we take a look at the standings are Chris Hussein is 7-1, followed by Josh 6-2, Jeremy 6-2, Serbone 5-3, Arthur falling to 5-3, Derek 4-4, Sean 3-5. He's the top rated of the 3 and 5s. Tyler 3-5. I'm 3-5. Vecchio's 3-5. Blake at 2-6. So Blake's still right there. So at the halfway mark, we got a lot of players that are still in it, with the exception of Chris. I think Chris could lose the rest of his games and still make the playoffs. So maybe after next week he'll be a lock. And then Chad pulling up the rear, getting his first win. Congratulations, Chad, 1-7. So if we look at the points for totals, they pretty much fall in line with the rankings. Chris is over the 1,100 mark, 1165, so he's going to be close to 1,200 by. He'll be over 1,200 by week 9. Followed up by Josh at 1096, followed by Jeremy at 1077. Followed by Serbone at 1112, so there's a little bit of a discrepancy there, but not a huge amount. Arthur at 983, coming in 5th place, and that's the problem, is Arthur's at 983 in 5th, because Derek's at 1106, Sean's at 1036, Tyler's at 1017, and I'm pretty much exactly where I'm supposed to be at 9th. Well, yeah, 9th. Well, yeah, 9th. I should be like 8th or 9th with a 946. Ryan Vecchio at 943. I am starting to catch up to Blake in terms of his points against. I'm now at 1082. Blake is still ahead at 1160, but it's not so bad because the top points for has now exceeded the top points against. So, oh no, it hasn't. Chad. Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's 1067. So Ryan Vecchio and me surprisingly have the same record, 946, 943, and 1082 and 1049. So me and Vecchio are pretty much the exact same team performance-wise, which is terrible for me because I can guarantee you I put in way more fucking time into fantasy football than he does. So what does that tell you about me? Blake's from Melly at 1014 and 1160. If he didn't have such a terrible points against, where would he fall? He would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He'd still be an 8th on the points for. 9, 10. Yeah, I'd be 10th, so I'd go down a spot. Chad climbing up a little bit at 847 because of that big performance bump he had of 130 points this week. So hopefully I've made it around the turn and I won't be having a 70-point game. That was just fucking sad. That just makes me sad. That nothing feels good about it. But Christian McCaffrey's back. Everybody's healthy. There's no more excuses for my team. I just have to pick the right players every week at this point. That's the difficult time I've got. So there's your standings. For the most part, everybody's still kind of in the hunt. I mean, the 6-2, 5-3, being 3 games back or 3 wins back from the 6s. I mean, if the teams are healthier, like there's a good opportunity for a lot of teams that are on that bubble to still make it into the playoffs. So good to see the level of parity. I mean, granted, Chris is going to have something happen terrible for him to not make the playoffs, but with the way his team is performing offensive, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is basically the golden ticket this year for, like I mean, I guess if you were smart, like, you just take him with your overall pick, right? Like, why not? Why not take him in the first fucking round? He's good. I mean, shit, what is Patrick Mahomes averaging this fucking season? It's got to be over 30 points. No? Average points 26? Okay, because he had 1, 2, 3 20-point games. 1, 2, 2 upper 20 games. I'm going to round those and say 30 games. A 12 game and a 40 and a 36. This league is much tighter with the scoring, if I recall. So, nonetheless, averaging 26 points out of a player in this league is fucking obscene. That is so fucking crazy. And no surprisingly, Tom Brady's not fucking far behind him. That's so funny. Anyway, okay. I did. I'm in the middle of a video, though, so you got to quit baby talking the dogs. All right. Okay, so there's that. What we're going to do now? We're going to do... my wife ruined me. What was I going to do? Offers report? I don't remember there being anything big this week other than... Yeah, $0. I tried to pick up Washington again with my last remaining dollar for my budget. Didn't get them. Honestly, with the way my team performed, I should have just fielded Washington as a buy, I think, if you can do that. Or just not... maybe you have to field one is the problem. And maybe they can't be on a buy. I need to look into that. But I dropped Washington. Shouldn't have done it. Great defense. But I don't think I had a choice. So Tyler picked him up for $3. There was a couple builds on it. Blake picked up Kirk Cousins. Jimmy G is a bum. And put in a $10 bid for Matt Breida. Sean put $25 in for Matt Breida. And dropped Scotty Miller. Don't blame me on that one. Problem is Matt Breida is injured. So $25 to not have him play. Sorry, Sean. That's a bad beat. So not a whole lot of movement this week in the offers report. And so for the week 9 projections, who are we playing here? Let's go to... I really don't like the ESPN website because shit like where you'd think it would be is just not there. Right? Like if you want to see the offers report for every team, it's under players. Why? I don't know. Someone said stick it there. I mean, in the matchups, you know, I have to go... Oh, it's called the scoreboard. I gotta tell you, I'm not a big fan of this fucking thing. So, really interesting matchup I can see already is Derek is going to play Chris. And I think Derrick Henry... Who's Derrick Henry playing this week? Chicago. Not great. But... According to this, Chicago's run D is middling, so we'll see how that goes. Matt Ryan... Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah, James Conner and Tyler Lockett. So, you know, very good matchup for Derek against Chris. The Chiefs are playing, Carolina. He's going to feast on fucking Carolina. So, just go ahead and prepare for him to have another, 30-point game, and you'll be okay. So, Derek's going up against Chris. Go Derek. I'd like to see to go 5-4. See Chris fall to 7-1. Projections are very close, 134 to 135. So, Derek's not too far behind. I'm playing Tyler. I'm slated to lose, of course. But that's mostly based upon Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan, I think. Has he set his lineup? Let's see. Let's see if he set his lineup. Looks like he has. Yeah, the Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers versus Derek Carr and Tua. That's just flat out better. I haven't pushed McCaffrey in, so that would get me another 7 points. Yeah, it'll be close. It's going to be a close week. And does he have a QB on bye? No. No, he doesn't. I just said he's got 2 quarterbacks. So that'll be a close week once I get my lineup set. I should be slated at 127 or 130. So I'm still the underdog, primarily because of the 2 quarterbacks, I think. So it's just going to come down to, who gets lucky this week, I think. Tyler, I want you to lose, so you fall to 3 and 6, and I want to go to 4 and 5. I would like that very much. So, I want to win. I want Derek to win. Jeremy is playing Chad and is, again, slated to curb stomp the shit out of Chad. Chad is slated to lose by roughly 37 points. Good luck, Chad. I'm rooting for you. You got your first win. Let's get back-to-backs for you, bud. Arthur is playing Ryan Vecchio. Arthur is slated to lose at 108 to 120. Arthur, normally do I want Arthur to win? Yeah, I do want Arthur to win. I like Arthur much better than Ryan Vecchio. So, go ahead and beat Ryan. Sean is playing Blake. I don't think Sean has set his lineup, especially since he's got Chris Godwin set in the lineup. And I don't know if he's playing yet. Maybe he is. Blake is 2 and 6. Sean is 3 and 5. Let's go, Blake. You've suffered quite a bit. You've been super vigilant on the waiver wire. I mean, Sean has been too. So you guys have both been working it. You both kind of think deserve a win. But I guess if I wanted to root for anybody, I'll root for the underdog. So that'll be Blake to try to make a comeback in this league. And then we've got Serbone versus Josh. I'm going to have to go with Serbone to see a little bit more parity, 6'3", 6'3". Sorry, Josh, but, then again, you're slated to win, but I don't think he set his lineup yet because it's only showing 118. But, again, it's so disgusting to me how there's teams that are just, like, putting, projections at 146 points for Jeremy, 142 points for Josh. I mean, this is just fucking stupid. Fantasy football's fucking stupid, especially kickers. How do we get rid of fucking kickers in this league? Is that possible? I mean, kickers are the one where you have... I mean, I know this has come up time and time again, but I'm definitely falling into the camp with Tyler where at some point having a pure random player that nobody can project, right? Like, every player's projected as a kicker. The floor on these fucking guys is like 7 and the ceiling's 10. And some of these people are putting up over 20 fucking points or putting up 0 or negative points, and you can't predict that. Kickers to me just kind of drive me crazy. They're not a meaningful choice in fantasy football. I mean, I'm sorry, they're not. The whole point of this is that at some level you're kind of going, okay, do I start Amari Cooper or Zach Moss? What are the defenses like? At some point, you have to make a strategic kind of decision over who the quarterback is, who is the defense they're playing. These kind of things. But kickers, it's just a random roll of the die. And fantasy football already has enough fucking randomness in it, right? Like, between injuries and individual performances and game plans that week and all this other stuff, unless you've got some kind of lock player like a Derrick Henry or Christian McCaffrey or Dalvin Cook, it's just too fucking volatile as it is. So I'm definitely on board with getting rid of kickers. It's not fun. It doesn't do anybody any fucking good. So Tyler, however we got to fucking do that to suggest that we just get rid of fucking kickers, I definitely want to do that in the offseason. So there's my recap. Not any movement really whatsoever of value other than Sean getting fucked on Matt Breida this week for the waivers. There's still quite a few players with budget, so we'll see how the theory works out. I know that a lot of players like Derek still have some budget. Tyler still has some budget. So for those that are higher up in the rankings that have the budget, with the exception of Chris, because he spent every nickel he had, we'll see. I'm really interested to see if that comes back to haunt Chris. If that $200 buy, now that Christian McCaffrey's back, if that comes back to bite him in the ass. I don't know. We'll see if it does or not. But good luck to everybody that I voted to win, and fuck all of you guys that I want to lose.